Previously on Echo.
Now wanted for questioning and with a looming declaration of war, the crew tries to figure out their next steps. Short Rib receives a pointed call from Big Ma, while Pet, Div, and Dr. Mozaeya talk about trust. And now, a word from today's sponsor.
This show is proudly recorded on Zencastr. When we first started recording our podcast, we had a lot of options. We needed a platform that could record and generate separate tracks and videos with a full suite of professional tools at our disposal. Zencastr does everything for us, and it'll do more for you. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code BaddieBards, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience as I do for all my podcasting and content needs. And it's time to share your story.
Now let's play some fucking D&D. So, you guys are officially wanted criminals in the IOC, at least according to the IOC. And because of this, there is unrest in the compound. People know that you're here now and that you came here with Jara. And Jara still has yet to speak officially to everybody about what happened at the summit. Which means that the people of the compound only know who you are based on hearsay and rumors. To say that things have been tense is an understatement. The people of the compound give you a wide berth most of the time. Few speak to you, save Void, the woman in charge of requisitions. So in the past couple of days here in the compound, things have been quiet. You've been left to settle in with Jara promising that you will speak today. You have a few hours before that meeting, though. So what would you like to do in the Plinius compound?
I think...
Wait, this is... I just want to make sure that this is a couple of days after Div received that ping last time.
A couple of days after the ping that Div got, and a couple of days after the message that Pet got.
I feel like we honestly would have... Well, let me ask y'all then. Do y'all think after Div shared the information about the ping, do you all think we would have had a discussion and went to talk to Jara immediately?
Yeah, that was going to be my thing. I was like, could we have told Jara about the ping beforehand when we got it the second time?
Yeah, last thing
Mozaeya was going to ask Div about their about their opinions on it.
How did you want to tell Jara? I will explain. Jara, this sounds like shitty, but it's true. Jara is busy, and she's coming from an attempted assassination, so it's hard to sort of catch her when she's not in a meeting or doing something else like that. That's why she gave you guys this specific time to reach out to her today, because she wants to speak with y'all as well. So the question now becomes, do you want to have sought her out before that point to try and have that conversation first and foremost, or did you want to wait until your designated time slot, as it were?
I think Div would... Personally, I think Div would have sought her out, because Div, having been living in District 69, they would be pissed the fuck off if anybody came there, with possible danger on their tails and they didn't divulge that information. So I wouldn't want to do that to Jara.
Okay, so what we'll do,
Mozaeya will help interrupt whatever meeting Jara's in, because fuck them.
That's bold, considering that these niggas don't like you in the first place. So
it's a potential emergency of we got pinged, someone pinged us. So I feel like it's
they don't know
justified.
That. Are you telling everybody that Div potentially got
I don't
pinged?
give a fuck if everybody is mad at Doc and I for interrupting a meeting, frankly.
No, that's fine. I'm just I'm trying to figure out how you guys are entering this situation, because if you're banging down the door and going, "Hey, we got a ping, so fuck all of you, get out!" That's a different, what I mean?
Right. I think I would try to maybe see what her schedule is And if I see a moment where she's maybe like signing some documents or you know what I mean, like
Or like where she's on her own.
right, I would try to come in the office then, and I'm not banging the door. I'm just knocking. I'm like, hey, I know you're really busy, but like we have something extremely important to tell you that honestly I don't think should wait. Yeah, like I don't think it should wait. I think it's something that has to do with uh what was that event that we went to that she almost got assassinated at?
Oh, the Red Summit.
Yeah, I would tell her like I think it has something to do with the summit. So she understands like the urgency of it.
Cool. So what we will do, here is how this works. You guys, who all is going to look for Jara in this moment? I know Dr. Bleak and Div are. Pet, are you coming? And Short Rib, are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming because I'll at least help with the perception.
Okay. And what about you, Short Rib?
I think Short Rib would try to come. Would y'all stop me?
Nah, I think we would actually just take her with us because your ass can't be left alone.
Okay.
Fair.
Great.
Very fair. Okay. So what we will do, I'll have a group perception check, please. I'll take the highest two numbers.
Wow, rolled another nat one today.
Got a 20.
You got a 20. A natural 20 or a dirty 20?
A natural 20.
You got a nat 20?
No,
What?
I got an unnatural 20.
Oh,
I roll a 10 plus a 10, so.
God damn.
Okay. Yeah, that's the differential I was talking about. I knew somebody's was buck wild.
I got a 16.
You got a 16? Okay. So
For
the
the try
I
to
also
person
got a
and
16.
you got a what, baby?
I also got a 16. We're twinsies.
A 16. Two 16s, a dirty 20, and a nat 1. So the person who finds Jara is actually Pet. You guys, it's a little bit after you guys like walk out of the dormitory that you're staying in, and you walk into the cafeteria area where Jara left you guys to your own devices the first time. And you notice, Pet, that Jara is sitting in the same spot that she was sitting in before when she gave you information about Oku. And she is eating her lunch. Like she's having her lunch. And you see next to her is Void and Tundra. Tundra is like just sort of skittering around the ground underneath Void's feet, sort of trumpeting a little bit, and hoping that Jara drops down sunflower seeds for them to eat. And you see Jara and Void speaking quietly amongst themselves, and that's where you guys find her.
Shitting all by yourself, handsome?
Oh my!
You
Does
say
Short
that?
Rib say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sitting all by yourself in there?
In the lunchroom. So Void is the one who sees you first. And she sort of looks over the table down at you, and she goes, "Oh, Jara, your friends are here. Are you shitting by yourself?" And she's asking this to Jara, and Jara's like, "Void, no, I'm Jesus." And she turns to look at you, Short Rib, and goes, "No, I'm not, but thank you, I think. What can I help you with? What's up?"
I don't know what to say about Short Rib. I will just say an apology now, and that apology will last for our entire stay. So I'm sorry. We really just wanted we just wanted to talk to you about some information that we had. We know that you're really busy, but we got an appointment a couple days from now. But this is I feel like it's really important. I think it has to do with the summit. It'd be great if we could like just talk in private.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay. 17.
17. Where is her character sheet? It doesn't matter. She understands that you're telling the truth. And you see she sort of like wipes her mouth and straightens a little, and she looks over at Void and goes, "Void, would you mind?" And Void says, "I'm going to adopt Tundra if you don't start taking better care of her. Come on, girl." And Void gets up and takes Tundra and sort of wanders elsewhere in the cafeteria, out of sight, out of the throng of people. And Jara looks over at you all and stands from where she's sitting at the lunchroom. And she says, if it's serious, I'm sure I can find a few minutes. And she packs up her lunch, half eaten, not finished, and she begins to lead the four of you out of the cafeteria and into her office, where she takes a seat and gestures that you all may sit as well. And she looks at the four of you in turn in expectation.
You should finish your lunch if you're still hungry, by the way. Don't think that that's rude at all.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly.
Jara actually smiles at this and she says, "I normally don't like to eat in front of people that aren't eating as well, but if you insist." And she opens up her plate and takes a hearty bite. And she says, "Please, what can I help you with?"
All right. So I guess the situation is that I have been receiving a sort of like a ping that will share my location with assumedly Dr. JT, but I haven't seen the doc in a really long time. So I don't know if it's actually Dr. JT or, I mean, he was captured by the IOC, so it could be them. I don't know who it could be, but it's usually a protocol that only the doc knows about. But again, I don't know who's on the other end of it, and I felt like it was important to tell you because I don't want to bring any danger to your home.
At this, Jara kind of splutters a little bit. And she swallows what's in her mouth and she goes, "How long have you been getting a ping?"
I just got this ping here. I got it once before when I was, I think I was at the IOC. And
outside the summit.
Yeah, I was outside the summit, and then I just got one. Maybe this is probably like the next day from when I got it or something.
Well, if y'all went and found her immediately, it's been a few minutes.
Okay, yeah, and I just got this one a few minutes ago.
Jara leans back in her chair and she sighs and she says, "Is there anything else that you four haven't told me that I need to know? I understand that you have your own histories and your own secrets to maintain, but I have been as upfront as I possibly can with you. And I need to know that you will do the same for me. Even over something like this, which is extremely pertinent information. We don't know who in the hell the people pinging or the person pinging or the organization pinging you are. And we don't know what information they have.
I came to tell you. It just happened. It just happened.
I understand. But it's not the first time that this has happened, correct?
Yeah, well, I wasn't here the first time it happened, so.
But you were on my ship. That's a
In
problem,
transit.
Div.
We were in transit.
Also, full discrepancy. We didn't quite know that we could trust you. But I can assure you that when things like this happen, just like now, we will come to you. We're both pursuing the same goal here.
Persuasion check.
If
Let me pull up her
got
character
it,
sheet.
she
Yeah,
got
let
it.
me pull up her character sheet because she's the insightful one. One of the insightful
I take it
ones.
all back. Let's see. That's a 20.
A 20?
Yeah.
Okay. Jara looks at you, Dr. Bleak, and you can give me an insight check as well.
I'm
just to see what you can understand.
That's a 10. That's the regular old 10.
Can I also
10
do an
for
insight check?
Anyone who would like.
Hell yeah.
25 insight for Pet, 9 for Div, 8 for Short Rib. Beautiful. So Pet, the person who understands what Jara is going through at this precise moment is you. And you see in Jara's countenance something that you have not seen in at least 10 cycles at this point. You last saw this expression of desperation and frustration and helplessness cross the expression of your mom, Oku. You saw this expression cross her face multiple times, often when you were in the workshop with her. And you recognize it now in Jara, her discontent with the entirety of this situation, but she doesn't say anything. And she takes a deep breath and rubs her hands down her face. And she goes, okay, so starting from now then, as much information as you can, as soon as you can. And I can promise the same thing to you as I do to everybody else who lives here. I'll give all of the information I possibly can to you as well. We have to operate in trust here. It's super important.
Mozaeya will hold a hand out to shake.
Jara takes your hand in both of hers and gives you a warm and firm handshake. And she says to you, Dr. Bleak, she says, I knew. I don't know. I knew you had to be a good egg. I think all of you must be. It's hard not to trust a good doctor. At least to me, anyway. And she goes back to eating her lunch. And she goes, so, I suppose the next thing we have to do is figure out where this ping is coming from and who's sending it. And if that's something we need to be concerned about. I would hate to have to move from this place. I doubt very seriously we'll find another abandoned health spa to set up base in. But if we need to move, then we will. It won't be the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last. I will try to find someone who can help with this. And I would ask that you do the same. You know Dr. Teagues better than anyone. So you would probably understand how this works better than I would, but I know people who know electronics, so I'm sure we can figure something out.
Div will nod. Well, Short Rib is really good with technology. So we'll try some things on our end, and if we If they work, we'll let you know.
Jara nods and says, well, thank you. I'd appreciate that. And we will talk in a couple of days about everything else. For now, and you hear a knock on the door. And she hurriedly shoves her last bite in her mouth and packs up her lunch and goes, come in. And like somebody opens the door. It's someone that you don't recognize. They open the door, a tall, beefy, kind of human, a humanoid, like elven person. They have blue skin and dark black eyes. All black, no whites in their eyes whatsoever, and little antennae and long pointed ears. Very old astral elf. Old to the point of no longer looking humanoid almost. But they look over at Jar and they say, meeting for you, boss. They're waiting for you outside. And Jar says, right, I'll be right there, Jeez. And the astral elf Jeez walks out of the room and closes the door behind him. And from there, we come back to the present. And you guys what are you guys doing as you're waiting for the opportunity to meet with Jara a little bit today?
Well, are we working on like trying to figure out where this ping is coming from? Do you want Short Rib to like give his little thing a shot?
Yes. I think Div will like honestly probably already have Pet there if Pet is not busy. And like also adopt because let's be real, like Short Rib needs multiple eyes on them.
Wow.
And like we're probably like in the common room of like our little apartment or whatever, the living room, and truly like sitting like face level with Short Rib, you know what I mean, eye to eye contact, and it's like, so you know about somebody trying to trace my location, right?
Yes.
I know that you have really great abilities and you're really good with tech stuff.
Thank you.
I wanted to see, of course, I wanted to see if you would maybe be able to decrypt where it's coming from, or maybe even trace it back to their location. So you're gonna have access to a lot of me, but I really, really, really need you to handle my tech with care. It is me. It's not just like like a calculator or whatever the fuck, or a computer. It's me. And if something gets messed up internally, it could be really bad. So do you think you'd be able to do that?
Yes, I do. DM, would we have had a long rest at some point?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what I could do. I have remote access, which is you can use any electronic device within range as if it was in your hands. This is not a telekinesis effect. Rather, the spell allows you to simulate a device's mechanical functions electronically. You are able to access only functions that a person using the device manually will be able to access. You can only use the remote access with one device at a time. I also have a second level spell, Arcane Hacking, which is you gain advantage on all intelligence checks using hacking tools to break software encryption or online security when using a foreign system. This spell also allows you to break second level and lower protective spells such as Arcane Lock or Glyph of Warding by making an intelligence check using hacking tools against the spell save DC of the spell's caster. And there's other stuff with higher levels. So, can I kind of sandwich those together to kind of like smooth the process of this? Am I making
If
sense?
not, can we find hacking tools somewhere in
That
the
was
base
my-
that someone's willing to lend?
There's a couple of things that we need to discuss.
Okay.
I get what you're I get what you're trying to do, and
Sure.
you know, rule of cool is my shit. But I can't let y'all break the game entirely. So let's talk.
Okay.
Remote access allows you to simulate mechanical functions that you would be able to manually do on any electronic device, correct?
Yes.
Only one at a time.
Yes.
So that is a spell, not
Right.
necessarily a tool.
I think arcane
You want both of
hacking
them?
will be really good because we are trying to decrypt this shit, and it says to break software encryption.
So I'm thinking that arcane hacking will be your best bet. Now, as far as using actual hacking tools, you would need to get those. The cool thing is, you guys know the person who works in requisitions.
Oh, delightful.
Okay.
You know her, you've met her, she was the first person you met, and she was super cool with everybody. So
Yes, the one with the floofit?
The one with the floofit void, yes.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
So, I think I'm super excited. Okay, let's see if this will work. All right, let's talk. Are you guys interested in getting the hacking tools, whatever it is that you're looking for, from Void? Do you want to have done that before this point?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can say requisitions, they don't charge you anything. You guys can use Binti, but y'all don't have none yet. So they don't charge you anything for like borrowing stuff from like a tool library or some shit.
I draw them a very nice picture as payment.
You know what?
I draw them a very nice portrait to the best of my ability.
Void gives you a very warm smile and takes the picture, and you see her like put it on her desk, like just on her desk somewhere, like leaned up against the screen.
Yes.
And she goes, "That'll do. Thank you so much."
I'm in love
And
with it.
she hands over the hacking tools to you. So you guys are in this apartment now, and you have your hacking tools from Void. You want to try and use arcane hacking, right?
Yes.
So for this, Short Rib, you should give me an intelligence check with advantage. Div,
Okay.
you're doing an intelligence saving throw.
Mozaeya is going to inspire the both of them first.
Yeah. Well, Div wants to fail. You want to fail
I'll
this.
Well, I
inspire
mean,
Short Rib.
I'll take that though, just in case some fuck shit happens.
That's
true.
fair.
if you're offering.
I'll inspire the both of them. Just be like, all right, you two, play nice, I guess. Short Rib, I believe in you. You've embezzled money from a multi-million-dollar Iceland prison before, so there should be a piece of cake for you.
Thank you for
Div
your
is
trust
like-
in these trying times.
Oh my god, I'm fucking this kid.
I
This goddamn
think
kid.
Pat just like sits right next to Div while your stuff is exposed, just to like, because he's very concerned, so he's just sitting next to you.
Yeah, I think Div. I think Div will sit maybe like on an ottoman and take off their jacket, and will tap like the back, like a little, like honestly, like a button that we would never see unless it was actually pressed on the back of their like helmet, and it will kind of, a slit will appear from the top of the helmet all the way like to like the bottom of Div's back, and it will like smoke will kind of come out of it, like hiss out of it, I think, and it's like this black like inky smoke, and it just opens up a little bit. You can tell it hasn't been open in a long ass time because they haven't been able to do work on themselves, but it opens, and the orbs that are usually their eyes like disappear. And so I think they're not in like exactly in an idle state, but is used to not in an idle state because they are aware of what is happening, but like just but also being idle because this is how the dog like worked on them. They're used to this shit. So yeah, I will fail the intelligence save.
Okay.
Okay. Now, how does inspiration work if I already have advantage?
It's
get to add
it's
a
like a
D8
D8.
Inspiration is to re-roll, isn't it?
Oh yeah, bardic inspiration is you get to roll a d8 to whatever you
Oh.
roll, and then add that to the total of the number you roll.
I thought you
Okay.
were talking about inspiration. Sorry, not bardic inspiration. My bad.
Gotcha.
All regular bard stuff.
Okay, cool. Got a whopping 1. So, to my intelligence check, big old money, no fucking whammies. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, so I got 22 or 21.
21.
So yeah, Short Rib grabs the tools in his silly little hands and goes, okay, so I'm gonna just kind of wipe things down a little bit so that I can see. So if you feel like a pinch or a tickle or anything, just let me know. I can, I don't want you to be hurt. Okay.
All right.
And then just goes to wiping it down and seeing what they can see. I think Short Rib specifically is like looking for the source of this pin or this ping and like the message that was received.
Okay. So what we will do, because I said before that the message was both scrambled and double encrypted.
Yes.
Right? So with that 20 intelligence check, what you did is descramble the message. It's still encrypted. Okay. Let's get another intelligence check. You can do these with advantage because of arcane hacking that lasts for an hour, correct?
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I'll also give another inspiration just in case.
All right.
Lovely. All right. Let's get that going first. Okay, a 7. That's what we like to see.
Not bad.
So 11. We got an 18.
18. Okay.
And Short Rib has like looked off to Pet, who is, I assume, like doing something luxurious with his hair and kind of gets a little bit mesmerized.
No, Pet is staring at you very intensely right now because if you fuck up with their friend.
Okay, well, I think then Short Rib is like very aware of Pet's gaze and like kind of falters his rage.
Okay, so you got an 18. Is there anything you can do to get a little higher?
Do you have
I have something
that lets you
I have an inspiration in the chamber. What do you have?
So I have Built for Success, but it is something that I can use for myself. But at DM, I want to propose something. It says you can add a D4 to one attack, ability check, or saving throw you make, and you can do so after seeing the D20, but before the effects of the roll are resolved. And I can use it 3 times per long rest. If I use up all 3 right now in this moment, like to give, 1 to Short Rib, could we do that perhaps? Maybe?
You do all that for me?
I need this ping. I need to know what the fuck is going on.
This is my logic. So you can use Built for Success. Give me a D4 roll real quick. I want to see whether or not this is going to go off, and then I'll explain what just happened.
Okay. You want to do it, Mac?
Yeah.
Go for it.
You need a 2 or higher. The DC for these checks
3.
is a 20.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Good.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So this
Okay.
is what just happened. So firstly, the first scrambling of the message, as you're doing this, Short Rib, you have these itty bitty super precise tools, electronic screwdrivers and Allen wrenches, things that like get into the joints of an auto gnome. Very precise tools. And you are able to sort of tinker around, and you see like a little display inside of Div's back, basically a very small, minute display, kind of like a pager screen.
Div, you were a video Barbie the whole time?
The screen is very small. It doesn't display like HD video or anything like that. It just displays basic like information, like binary code, ones and zeros, that kind of shit.
Bro, what a blast from the past.
Right?
Oh my god. I forgot those fucking existed. Sorry, continue.
So you are fucking around, tinkering with these tools. And the message, you hear the ping go off. All of you hear it for the first time. Coming from inside of Div's like chassis. And as you're tinkering around, Short Rib, you see the numbers on that little screen are scrambled in multitudinous different formations of multitudinous different languages, different symbols from all over the place. None of it makes sense. It's not even a cipher. It's straight up gibberish. It's like wingdings. So you relax and you tinker and you push through. And the screen goes like dark for a moment and then comes back on, and now the numbers on the display are in common. So you can read the numbers, but they still mean nothing because it's an encrypted message, right? Here's where we get to this roll. This roll, you feel somebody watching you like a fucking hawk. And as you're tinkering around, one of your Allen wrenches like slips just a little bit, and you look back and to see who's looking at you, and you see Pet staring daggers at you. Like, don't fuck up, kid, you know, type shit.
Yes.
So you slip just a little, and Div, you feel electricity where you oughtn't feel it, and you take a deep breath and you go, no, actually, I'm going to get through this message. So you help basically in this moment by providing that extra from the Built for Success. And what you see, Short Rib, is that the numbers on the display are beginning to coalesce further down, even more so, into something that is beginning to look like a message. Give me one more intelligence check with advantage, please. DC is a 20.
I still got that. I still got that Bardic.
Yeah, I'll give another Bardic.
You're an angel.
Yep, it's my last Bardic, so don't fuck it up.
It's a 3. Okay.
No.
That's a D.
Doc's Bardic is a D8.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Also, that Built for Success trick is only going to work the one time. Just for the record.
But we still have an damn it. We still have an inspiration to burn.
That's true.
That's a 2. That's two less than you.
11,
Damn.
13. Nope. All right. I'm burning my inspiration and I'm re-rolling.
Okay.
Just one, just a flat.
No, you get to roll these with advantage. Well, I mean, there's a world in which you crit, so you can do it again. But you got to roll it with advantage.
Why not? I'll re-roll, yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, that takes care of that. Okay.
Technically a crit.
A nice one. Okay.
A 19 plus 1 and a nat 1. So,
so we'll take the 22. Perfection. And you hear...
I'm so fucking good at this, bro. I'm so fucking good. I'm gonna cuss all day.
Language.
Poop.
So as you are tinkering with your tools, you finally get like are fucking with these switches, these little itty bitty little antennae on this tiny little card, and you finally get things perfect. Everything is in place, and the display on Div's back shoulder begins to display coordinates. Y'all are in the ping, the coordinates that you understand, Pet. I'm giving you this for free because y'all did these intelligence checks, and I'm sure whatever you don't know, Short Rib might have picked up on. So I'm giving you this for free. The location that you are finding is a place called Satrell. It's at the very bottom of the civet, above the forge and near the Corkscrew Nebula, on the very far, far reaches of incorporated IOC space. So you guys now know where the ping is coming from. Div, I will ask you to give me an insight check or perception. Up to you. Either is fine.
I'll do perception. I'm better at it.
Okay.
18.
18. You have... This is what happened for you as Short Rib was sort of fucking around with the card in your back to get those coordinates. The pinging in your head continued intermittently as this was happening. But when it finally stops, you feel a play button. You feel a button. It's not like a physical button, and it's not something anybody can actually push because there's not a responsive screen on your back. You're an auto-gnome. So you have an in-body menu, as it were, which means that you have the ability to play this message.
Will it play in my head or out loud?
That's something that you can choose. It's kind of like deciding whether or not you wanted to play through your Bluetooth speaker, if you wanted to come through your headphones. Yeah,
I'm going to have it come through the headphones.
Okay, bet. So the message is this. Div.
Oh my God.
Div. Is this reaching you? I'm in Satrell, Div. Satrell. Find me in... And then it cuts off.
Oh my God! What?
Oh, shit.
Div inside immediately snap shut. The little doors on their shit snap shut.
Mm-hmm.
Their orbs come back. Oh. Sorry, and they snatch on their coat. And I think they just turn to look at the group, and they're like, "It's the doc." Holy shit! It's Dr. JT, and he.
Are you sure?
Yes, and he doesn't sound okay.
The code sounded looked pretty frantic. Things were running by real fast. I think we should get on it. I think we should go get to him.
Where is the trash?
Also, you did my little fingy.
Dev pulls out a bandage from your coat, and it's turquoise with little white stars on it, and gives it to the Short Rib.
Oh! Short Rib puts it on extremely badly, but is grateful.
Pet says I'm gonna shorten it because I was listening to the last thing. PGB can't. Div, are you okay? Are you fine? Real urgently.
Div looks to Pet and could I use my telepathy to play the message that I just heard to Pet?
Well, it wouldn't play the message, but it would play your memory of the message.
My memory of it.
Yeah.
So then I'll say PBG can't. And I'm okay. Short Rib actually did not mess up anything, so I'm really happy about that. but the doc just sounded, here, hold on. And then they'll use their like telepathy to share their memory of the message.
Do I need to do anything for it, or it's just
a language. It works.
ooh, okay. Pet, like as they see it and they hear the urgency of it, looks down the div and says, "We need to get a fucking ship," and like is like ready to go.
Div just nods. Oh, but actually, yeah, like Div will nod, but then we'll pause and say, "Okay, wait, but I know we have business here for you, though. So let's stop for a moment."
Are we saying this in PB, PGB?
No. I think Div is talking like out loud and looks like at Short Rib and Doc, and will. I think they consider for a moment, like, do I really want to share like this message? It feels like showing a vulnerable side of Dr. JT that they like don't want to show. You know what I mean? Especially, I guess, because of like how much they, for lack of a better word, like revere the Dr. JT. But trust is a thing, and so they will say, "Hey, here, I'll share the message that I heard," and they'll play it on the Bluetooth speaker this time.
So everybody hears it now.
Can I roll something to see if I've been over there? I feel like I'd have been over there.
Yeah, like what do I know about Citro, if anything?
Roll me a history check. Anybody who would like to.
Okay.
I
don't know shit. I got a 4.
I got a 5.
God damn. Wow.
I got a 17.
That actually makes sense. Pet, are you rolling as well?
Let me check something real quick. Yeah, 17.
Damn.
17. Okay. That makes perfect sense to me. Div and Short Rib, you've never even heard of the Civet. This is so far away from where you were raised that, I mean, it exists nebulously, sort of in the same way that a child knows LA exists, but doesn't, know what that means. So
I hope Glarbeck World is there.
That's canon now. Yeah.
That is canon now. It's absolutely canon now. I'm super excited about that. And Div, you do not know anything about the Civet outside of like the Wikipedia entry type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bleak and Pet, you are intimately familiar with the Civet because that is where the New Ambition used to be stationed, around that general area, because that tends to be like the exit of IOC space.
Yeah.
So it was around that area once upon a yesteryear. It didn't stay there long, but you remember being near the Civet to pick up supplies, probably near Merlar, instead of Citrell, but you were around the Civet once upon a yesteryear. And Dr. Bleak, you know about the Civet because you knew somebody at the facility who used to come from the Civet. As a matter of fact, your favorite doctor came from Prill in the Civet.
Oh, delightful. At least it's not Sean fucking Circadia.
Who?
Sean Sorry.
Oh my god.
Why are you yelling at me?
Is Mozaeya shouting this out? Gonna be hilarious.
No. Mozaeya just thinking to herself. It's fine. Complete stone faced.
I just imagine Apple shaking their fist at the sky when they said that.
It's fine. Sean Circadia is Mozaeya's Dinkelberg.
I'm writing that down. Sean Circadia? Okay.
SEAN or SHAWN?
Ask. Anyway.
God.
So as you guys are sort of coalescing with this new information that the doctor might very well be in Citrell and might very well be in danger. You all get a ping on your your new communicators from Jara saying that she's ready to speak with you all now.
Yeah, we fucking
Bet.
So you make your way. You head to Jara's office, past the throng of people in the cafeteria, down that a different labyrinthine hallway into Jara's office. And you knock on the door and you hear a muffled "come in" as she, welcomes you inside. And you come in, close the door behind you. And Jara gives all of you a kind smile and gestures for you to sit. And she says, "I have news. I think it's time for us to explain exactly, one, why you're here and how you saved my life, and two, why we are wanted, and three, what that means for everybody at Plinius. So before I go into the town hall, I need to know, what are you planning on doing with the next prototype?"
I guess my hope for next is to awaken.
Awaken, what do you mean?
Awaken in the way that, like, I have free will.
Jara nods at this very slowly and says, "You want to jailbreak it?"
Mm-hmm.
I will admit I'm not the most technologically savvy person. I don't build autognomes. So I'm not sure how something like that can be done, but... And
are we alone in the room with Jara?
Yes.
Then Div will say, Dr. JT can do it.
Dr. JT would be able to do it. He'd be an awesome option. It's just, we don't... Is there new information? Do you know where he is? Because, I'm afraid I don't.
So Short Rib hits you up in your head and is like, should we tell her where he is? Tell them where he is?
That's a good question.
We're on our way to go look for him. And we'll keep him off. We'll keep Nex off until then.
Div will nod.
Jar nods and says, "How were you planning on looking for him?"
Well, we need to secure a ship first.
Jar nods more quickly and gives you a soft chuckle, and she says, "That would probably be best. Most of the ships are checked out at this moment. And there is one that I'm sure you guys might be able to use, but it's slated to be used in the next day or so for a supply run. If you're willing to go on the supply run, I can give you the keys to the ship after and you can do what you'd like. It'd be a good way to build trust with the people around here as well."
Where do we have to go for the supply run?
Jara pulls out a map, and it's not a map of the IOC, even though the IOC is on it. It is a map of the star system. And the IOC is big, mind. It's large. It's an entire galaxy that's been incorporated. However, there are spaces and places where the light doesn't reach for some reason, where the IOC hasn't necessarily incorporated those planets, those star systems, asteroid belts, whatever, what have you. And Jara points to an unincorporated spot on the map farther up above where you guys know the Hyades sector to be, but much further out, somewhere closer to the facility, somewhere not too far from the facility that you came from, Dr. Bleak. And she says, "It'll be out in the seas. We get our supplies from some less savory people, pirates, Gith mostly. We have come across a pretty friendly cartel, all things considered, one that will help us a great deal. And they keep our coffers, our refrigerators and our bellies full. So I suppose they're not all bad, but we don't welcome them here and don't welcome us there either. Symbiotic relationship more than anything else.
What cartel?
It is, Jara says, it's the Githyanki Tiger Clan. And I will ask you all, you guys can roll a history check if you'd like. And for Pet and
18
Div,
for Mozaeya.
you can roll it with advantage. You got an 18, Dr. Bleak?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. 13 for Short Rib. 17 for the Doc. No. Yes, 17 for the Doc. 17 for Pet. No, 21.
18 for the Doc. That was from the last one.
Thank you. 18 for the Doc. 13 for Short Rib.
Got a natural 20.
Hey.
Damn.
A nat 20. Now, Pet, Div, and Dr. Bleak, y'all know about the Githyanki Tiger Clan. The Githyanki Tiger Clan, or the Githyanki Tigers, as they are, it sounds like a sports group, but that's not what they are. They are a group of pirates. And they sail the seven seas, or the astral seas, as it were. And they raise hell, basically, in the same way that y'all do on Eastries in the districts. That's what they do. They raise hell. They steal from the IOC on some Robin Hood shit. And sometimes they give to the poor and sometimes they keep it for themselves. You can't really be sure what the disposition of the people is going to be because the Githyanki Tiger Clan is so large. So what you know is that this is a collective of Gith that like live in the astral sea, and they do not fuck with incorporated IOC space at all. They are somewhere closer to chaotic neutral because they don't fuck with the Confederation, they don't fuck with the cavalry, they don't fuck with the IOC, they don't fuck with nobody. They do what they want to do, and they worry about themselves and themselves only.
Oh, I can get behind that. That is. Div actually like breathed a sigh of relief because they're like, this is much more up my alley than the shit we've been doing.
So the map is sort of rolled shut and put away, and Jara says, so yeah, that's where the supply run will be. It shouldn't take too long. Maybe a day, couple days, somewhere up in there. But from there, the ship is yours to do with as you see fit. I ask that, I mean, obviously this is a finite resource, these ships. So I'd ask that you not get into any major star fights if you can help it. But I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to use it, especially if it means finding the doctor.
That's really nice of you. Thank you.
Jara gives you a smile and says, no worries. I know what it's like to lose someone. And if I had an inkling, if I had a hint that Oslo was somewhere nearby, I would do the exact same thing.
Is Oslo still alive?
Jara looks very sad at this and says, I don't know.
So Oslo
I
is
hope
missing.
so. Oslo is missing, yeah.
When's the last time and place that like you last heard about Oslo?
Jara thinks back on this for a moment and says, it's been at least 10 cycles, at least. The last time that any of us showed up to a summit was the last time I saw Oslo. She went to a different think tank, a different summit, for the same purposes, a peace talk summit, hoping to connect with the leader of the Confederation and Dax Carson of the IOC and Calpurnius the Major and all of them. She was pleading our case, saying that we have a right to exist as a party and we shouldn't be chased down because of that. And the Confederation, I don't know, they must have taken offense to that, because the summit itself didn't go well. It ended with a planet being destroyed, and Oslo disappeared. I haven't heard from her since.
She disappeared at the summit?
Yes.
What planet was destroyed? Would we know that?
So when you ask which planet was destroyed, the planet that was destroyed is Breer. And it's been, she says, it's obviously been helped a little through the efforts of, I guess, colonization and modernization. But Breer hasn't been the same since the summit was held there. And people don't tend to go there anymore. Not unless they have to.
I'm sorry that happened.
Me too.
While we're looking for Dr. JT, we can look for Oslo as well.
Jara looks at you very intensely when you say this. And she says, anything you hear, anything you find, please, anything.
Mozaeya will raise an eyebrow at that.
Oh?
Raise an eyebrow at Div?
Just like this, yeah, at Div. Just like when they offer, like, hey, while we're looking for the doc, we'll also look for Oslo. And they will, like, visibly react, if not subtly.
Jara sits back in her seat, and the intensity sort of leaves her, and she says, Oslo is very dear to me. And Oslo is also the only person that I know who understands what it means to be the speaker for the resistance. And more than that, Oslo was the only person I knew of who was qualified to be this. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me thinking highly of a person who's just a person, but Oslo is my greatest friend, and the world would be better. The galaxy would be better if she were here. So, anything you can find, you'll have my support.
Of course.
So Jara has put the map away, and she says, all right, I think the time has come to introduce you all to the Plinius compound. And as she says this, you hear a knock on the door, and Void comes in. Void comes in with Tundra on her heels, trumpeting very cutely, little fluffy thing, padding behind this glorious Rhaegar woman.
Sure,
And Void, Void comes in and she looks at Jara and she says, Azon's here. You wanted me to let you know? They've started putting everything into the supply chamber. And Jara looks up at Void and nods very quickly at first, and then her eyes catch yours, Pet, and she goes, oh, right. Azon's here. Well, maybe it's time for you to have that conversation, Pet.
Yeah, where is he? He says like instantly, like looking to leave immediately.
Yeah. Void is the one who speaks up in answer, and she says, you can follow me. I'll lead you to him. And she turns in a flurry of, flimsy robes and whatnot, and she, heads back down the hallway and gestures for you to follow.
I think before I leave, I look at the group and just say, I'll be back. And then instantly to PVG to chant to Div. I'm nervous about this conversation, so we'll talk about it later. And just leads with Void.
So, what happens? Void leads you down the hallway, and you see Tundra sort of following after her, like chomping at the chiffon of her robes, and Void sort of walks out into the common area, the cafeteria, which you understand to be like the center, and like ducks and weaves through all these different labyrinthine hallways and leads you to the requisitions hall, or the requisitions room. And further in, all the way back to the right and behind a wall, you see like, how do I describe it? Like a door? Yeah, it's a door. It's a big door, like a huge, like warehouse style door. And on the one side of the door, you see a staircase leading down, further down into the compound, into what you understand to be the supply area, or the supply chamber. And you see the doors have opened wide, and you see people getting off and on the ship, or not people, rather, a person. On and off the ship, carrying different weapons and boxes and like cases of ammunition and munitions. And this person is robotically going from one spot to another, bringing supplies off of the ship that has backed into this door. And you see your mom, or someone who looks like your mom, someone who looks an awful lot like your mom. Only she has aged considerably. Her carapace has gone a little bit more translucent, and she walks with a bit more of a hunch, and she's got a bit more of a paunch. Her nose, her face is a little bit more pinched in and bulbous in small areas. And I will have you give me an insight check, just real quick, to see what you can understand from this.
I got an 8.
You got an 8, a nat 1. That's, oh gosh. So time has taken some of your ability to read your mom, because the last time you saw your mom was when you yourself were a child. And it's been so long that these different biological symbols, like, they mean nothing to you. What you feel, what do you feel at this precise moment? Let me ask you that, because this is very clearly Oku.
Yeah, yeah. And am I seeing them just automatically just, go back and forth and everything?
It has not registered that you are here. I don't think she hasn't even heard you walk up, because Void hasn't said anything yet.
Okay. I think when I was walking down here, it really reminds me similar to when Pet used to go walk down to their mother's shop and just shoot the shit with his mom, and that's where they do their lessons, and that's where he saw the magic happen and was learn what his abilities and with smithing and gun work, right there. So it's like a very slap in the face deja vu of just like, oh, I know you unpacking. I know you like to unpack bullets, then also unpack barrels next, and you stack them up here in an order. And like Pet is like registering that, and he says, "Oku, Mom."
You see Oku like stiffen for a moment and sort of stumble on the spot where she's holding a case of munitions, and she turns and looks first at Tundra, because Tundra is the most colorful thing in the damn room, and then looks at Void, who is also a colorful sumbitch in this room, and then sees you. And she straight up drops the case of munitions as she puts her hands to her mouth, and she goes, "Peta? Is that really you?"
Oh man, I'm having a moment right now. Ooh, okay. Pet just looks down at Void and says, "Can we have a moment?"
"Oh, sure, take your time. I didn't want to carry guns anyway." And she turns and takes Tundra and walks off.
And Pet just he looks over his mom, and it's just like there's an overwhelming feeling of rage first, then on top of that too, the wanting to hold their mother that they haven't seen for over 10 years and more. Oh, well, definitely more because of the situation beforehand. And seeing them doing everything that they used to do, it's like Pet does not know where to start. He's kind of speechless right now. And he says, "I dreamt of this day I would meet you again. I didn't know if I should have, should punch you. I know shooting you will bring you so much fucking joy. I should scream at you for not finding me, blame you for Mom's death. Sometimes I wish you were the one that went down with New Ambition. But most of the time, I wish I would have perished on that ship. I don't deserve to be here. She deserves to be here. But I miss you so much. And I hate that also. I don't know where to start."
Oku, as you were speaking, Oku is tall. About as tall as you are, because she's giving very much praying mantis, very dancer's body, tall, lean, muscular. She holds big ass guns and it shows, okay? And she's got like these rough hands built for working with heavy tools and heavy metals. And as you speak, this tall, imposing, gorgeous, like glorious specimen of a thrycreen becomes so small and so frail. And as you speak, you see her shoulders slump and slump and slump. And finally, they begin to shake. And she doesn't weep loudly. She's never been the type to make a lot of noise in that way. But she does react, and you see the tears beginning to fall down her eyes, and she wipes them away and says, "You're wrong. I don't deserve to be here. I let you down, Peta. I let down your mom, my Ion, and now she's gone. Or maybe she's gone, or I don't know. I never thought I'd see any of you again. I left and I failed. I left and I failed. Peta, I worked so hard, baby. I did. I worked so hard to understand, to stop this from happening, and I failed. And now, here you are. And I feel wretched. Because how can I look at you, knowing that I left you behind? How can I stand before you, knowing that I don't deserve your forgiveness? No, Peta, you deserve to be here. And so does your mom. My Ion should be here. She should be here.
Pet, like, he in this moment changed his voice lyrics cadence to Trikin, and he says, like, to his mom, and there is, like, at this point he feels that emotion, because I remember I was explaining, I don't think Pet is a crier, especially right now when he's confronted with the hearing what his mom's saying, because he believes what his mom is saying is true. He believes his mom right now is a coward for just living on, not trying to find him, just living on, carry on the same thing over and over, and just, I think he pities her, but at the same time, he really wants to give out like a olive branch, and in his format, his olive branch. And he's like, his voice cadence change to his mother's tongue, his mother in front of him, and says, "Do you want to help me to grieve, mother? Tell me who destroyed our home. I need their blood on my hands."
At this, you see Oku straighten, and the shining of the light, she shed 2 tears. That's it. She didn't cry. She didn't break down. None of that. She spoke her piece. And she didn't wither. None of that. To your anger, she stands firm. And she says, I might know just who. And I will tell you this. It has been my mission since I saw the space junk they left of our home. It's been my mission to destroy them ever since. That's where I've been. And she looks to you and cocks her head to one side, says, I can tell you where I've been, but this is a huge galaxy. And no matter where I looked, Ion was nowhere to be found, and you were nowhere to be found 10 cycles.
Pet, this says right there, I didn't want to be found. I made sure of it. I know what to do.
Oku actually smiles at this and says, good. That's why I asked you to find me. I tried to find you. I trained you too well, I guess.
And I think Pet actually, for the first time, breaks into a smile and, could agree on that. You gotta learn from the best.
Oku gives a very small smile at that, almost as though she's making sure she has the permission. And she says, I have made little to no headway finding who the person is that pulled the trigger on the new ambition. But I think maybe...
Pet says, I think with the regard of what happened with his group, now that this could be co-conspirators kind of situation going on, Pet says, do you think it's the IOC? Oh, I'll say, do I still have access to the data that we had on the IOC, the names of the people?
Y'all got rid of the communicators.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
But
okay.
You do, it wouldn't be too hard to remember these names. These are heavy hitters.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. But Pat is going through their mind and everything and says, I think at this moment I think they're fine with right now speaking shop, but emotionally they are not. It's gonna take a while, like always. I haven't seen my mother in years and no contact even before the situation happened. So there's a lot of baggage with that. But Oku's talking the language that Pet wants to hear.
At this, Oku sort of looks back at the case of munitions that she dropped when she saw you, and she turns, bends down, picks it back up, and she says, do you want to see my new workshop? I've made some upgrades.
Pat, he sees the olive branch. He sees it, and he knows he would love to see it. I think in this moment, Pat walks up to his mom, and she's taller than them, right?
By a little bit. By a little bit. Oku is tall. Oku, I based off of training Mantis. Oh, we love a tall bitch in this house. Okay, sorry.
We do. Ooh, give me a moment. But I think Pet like looks at them and spreads their wings and puts their watch to them, like to theirs, and says, this time, keep in touch. And yes, I would love to see your workshop. And then I think he also would like to pull out his gun and show like, you know, his mom that he did keep up with it. And he says, this has been very helpful for me.
Looking at the gun, Oku, her face goes wide in wonder. And she says, you kept it.
He nods.
I would have thought. And then Oku shakes her head and says, workshop. I promise. And it won't take me so long this time.
Pet goes ahead and picks up a container, like a whatever, guns and barrels, and says, let's get to work.
Oku straightens and says, let's, and begins to cart things out of the back of the ship. And I will tell you what you see. From the back of the ship is backed into this area, so it's another underground hangar that you're looking at. And there's like lights going all up and through. It's a supply hangar on the opposite side of this moon. And so she's bringing things out of the back of this ship to put down by the supply chamber so that it can be, cataloged and put away. And in front of the boxes in the back of the ship, you see a workshop, a glorious gunsmithery, absolutely beautiful, filled with the latest and greatest in technology. Not a speck of dust is anywhere to be found. Absolutely immaculate. And you see different racks of guns and guns and guns and guns fucking everywhere. Collector's pieces, things that she's created on her own. And one in particular that looks exactly like your gun in the very center of her workshop. And above is a little placard that says PETA. And from there, we will call it a session. And we will come back in 2 weeks and see what's what.
So good. Yum. Good. Heckin'
You almost
food.
got me. You almost got me. You almost got me at the end, Alex. You almost got me at the end.
You almost got me. The fuck? You started talking about your... Okay, saving it for roll for thickness. Because, bitch, words. I got thoughts, okay? All right.
Hey y'all, it's Blue. I played Div, your favorite chaotic android. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can show us some love by writing us a review wherever you're listening to us on. And if you're looking for more BaddieBards because you just love us so much, you can find all our social links in our description. We are here. Bye y'all.